Hey, what's up? I'm going to compare four different AI tools that I like to use for different tasks. Some of them excel at tasks better than others. For instance, I like using Claude to generate document guides. And of course, you have to verify the document guides, which is why using AI LLMs is best for subject matter experts who can verify the information is correct. But anyway, I like to use Claude 3.7. It's 3.7 Sonnet is phenomenal for agentic tasks like producing code and guides that are accurate. DeepSeek, I'm getting used to DeepSeek. It's pretty new for me, but I am curious about what its normal model does and its deep think model can do. Then there's this new one I found called Abacus by abacus.ai called ChatLLM, which uses all of the other models like Claude 3.7, 4.0 from ChatGPT, and of course your classic ChatGPT, but I'm on the review of the temporary like model, which is the 4.5 in research preview. So let's go ahead and compare them. What I'm going to ask these LLMs is to give me a list of the roles involved in hardware design process and then see if they produce similar responses, also the tasks, if they can differentiate the tasks. And finally, I might even do a Venn diagram. Let's take a look and see what happens. So I'm going to hit run on that. Each of these. I probably should have done like side by side thing. Systems engineer. Okay, so that's outputting. Geez, Claude Sonnet is already like done. And then DeepSeek has just gotten started. And whoa. All right. Chat Chat LLM is pretty fast, so it's done this as well. If I wanted to, I could like change which models I'm working with. It decided to use the GPT 4.0 model, which is this one in ChatGPT. Its standard is the typical 4.0. To have access to GPT 4.5, you need to have a paid plan. All right, so let's take a look and compare the different responses. First of all, I have the systems engineer role. Yes, that's true. Hardware design engineer for sure. The PCB layout engineer, signal integrity, power integrity. Yep. EMC, EMI. Uh huh. Yes, these are all correct. Component engineer. This is typically what we call a PCB CAD librarian. Then project program manager, quality assurance. Great. So I came up with 14 different roles. Let's take a look at what Claude Sonnet 3.7 produced. The design for manufacturing specialist, I'm not familiar with that, but that is kind of a role for someone who may not know high speed digital design, but knows how to make sure your PCB goes to manufacturing. Then, regulatory compliance specialist, yep, that's a good point. We did have one of those when I was working at um, as an electrical system engineer at a solar power company. Then supply chain manager, yeah, totally. Quality assurance, that's definitely a role. These seem a bit more accurate because I'm not seeing test engineer. Oh, quality assurance, they did have that actually. Wait, how did I miss these? Okay. Mechanical engineer, firmware, ASIC. Yep, that's correct. Then we have the reliability engineer, mechanical verification. FPGA slash ASIC, I think it did mention that. It did. And a system architect. Now, this may not be as interesting because this is just information that it would be trained on over time, over the past. So, of course, we expect similar information. But I like that this is interesting. DeepSeek came up with more roles, 20 roles, and a summary of differentiations, right? So it came up with a summary. It's using the 4.0 model from OpenAI. Interesting. I would have expected that the 4.5 model would have done better than the 4.0 model, but oh well. No pun intended. Validation engineer. I also like the breakdown a bit where it talks about the focus in DeepSeek. Now, what about Chat LLM? ChatLLM produced a response using the same 4.0 model, and it lists its task in a paragraph format without focus. So it looks like DeepSeek is the only one specifically mentioned the focus, but the focus is mentioned here in the first sentence in ChatLLM or Route LLM. I don't even know what this is. Okay, industrial engineer. Very interesting. Okay, so now that's the first task, information based. Of course, we want to find information. But what about this next one? I'm going to set a prompt to see if I can have them produce Venn diagrams for me. All right, so the next task is actually creating something. You got information, but can it produce visuals for this information? Let's go ahead and run these, right? Sometimes the AI or LLM, whatever, is going to ask a question about what, like it may ask some questions in order to do its tasks. So we're testing the image generation and the intelligence of these tools. I like how Claude Sonnet, like how good it is at producing images and bar charts and all that stuff. This is not what I was expecting though. So what is going on here? Can I zoom in on this thing? Yes, I can zoom in. It's very large. So I'd have to download this, and I'm pretty sure this is in some kind of like SVG format. Okay. What about here? Hardware design roles, process roles, and responsibilities. So I see another list. Granted, it is a lot of information. So fair enough. I noticed that DeepSeek decided to ask, oh, it says this is the text-based diagram that organizes the roles. So I like that it lets me know this can be viewed as a hierarchical flowchart or table. Uh-huh. So it gives me instructions on what to do, but it doesn't actually do it. If I give it a deep think model, I'm going to switch to deep think. You can create it says in chat LLM that I can create a diagram to visually represent it. Would you like me to see it generated in the diagram? Yes. I noticed that the chat LLM actually asked for the diagram and it's using Claude Sonnet 3.5, or it had to ask versus just doing it for me. Yes. Can you generate a Venn diagram? Well, actually, can you generate a mind map? That might be the better format for this, right? I noticed that we do have the code view once it completes the task in Chat LLM. I'm not seeing the preview view, however. I can download it or copy. Let's go ahead and download. And nice. Nice. So it shows that the formatting is not the best, but hey, it does something. It works. Let's look at the view for from Claude Sonnet 3.7. I might open an Adobe. This is an SVG. Okay, so let's see if I can open this up. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so I added a new prompt to see if I can get a vertical infographic generated or something similar to it. I don't expect that these would produce the actual infographic. I just want something that is visually presentable. This isn't bad. I can at least take this information, and I like how it splits this out. This chat LLM splits things out into the different categories like tech specialists, the production team, the support team, and the core design team. Yes, I'd like you to produce the. I wonder if I have to add. Okay, got you. Interesting. I chat abacus.ai's chat LLM asks me for specific questions and context each time before it goes about doing it. I do like that. At the same time, I kind of just want to see what it does. So I see DeepSeek, whatever DeepThink model that it's using, is telling me exactly what to do for my infographic. Whereas Claude, just look at this. It just makes it. Claude Sonnet 3.7 is the business. All right, let me download this file. And it generated in an SVG format. It contains some errors, but maybe because it's still rendering. Is it still rendering? I think it might be. Nope. So if you preview that and look at the code, that works fine. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, then put it in my Mermaid Live editor. Oh, sorry, that's not Mermaid. That is a different language. I don't know if this is, I don't know what this is. Is this TypeScript? I have to figure out what this is. Yo, and ChatGPT 4.5 actually makes it. Ooh, look at that. Now, how correct is the text in this image? We're going to take a look. It generated it using DALI. And we're going to look at the quality of this infographic. Zoom in. All right, so the text is lacking a good bit, but at least it gives some. Ugh. Okay. Okay. It gives a little bit of an idea for a theme, and at least attempted it. I would say I'm most impressed by Chat LLM's attempt to like how it generated these roles in an SVG file and categorized them. Whereas Claude did the same, but like in its own way. Let me find out what this code is. This is crazy. All right, so this is SVG format. Of course, I just asked AI. This is a ChatGPT's explained that this is an SVG graphic illustrating hardware design processes, and so on. So the AI can extract the knowledge about what a code file is and describes it. Then I pasted this code inside an SVG viewer. The great thing about SVG is you can scale this to, I guess, as large as you want because it's vector format. Then you have the manufacturing engineer. I don't know why this dot is here in each of these, but I can go ahead and click download to download the, oh, SVG. Let's download the PNG for this thing. Is this something that can be downloaded? Not sure. Okay. Then what you can do is make some PNG generator. If you're in Windows, I don't think you have to do this, but let's go ahead and upload files to this free website. Hardware roles infographic. We got an error with this free converter here. Let's see if I open this directly. No name. Okay, so what I'm going to do is troubleshoot this using AI. I prefer ChatGPT's troubleshooting. I got this error. All right. Okay, it said it should be escaped. There are certain characters that should be escaped, particularly the ampersand character. And apparently this is this line. Replace and with and amp in the affected line. If it's doing it there, I'm guessing that's not the only place it's doing it. So what I can do is debug this. This is a whole other thing. But in any case, I'm very impressed with its ability to produce this. I'm going to debug it and show you. Actually, let's ask Claude to fix it. So I'm going to copy this, go back into Claude, say apparently we have an error. The ampersand, which is that and symbol, should be and amp. Here's fixed code, right? I'm just giving it, not grammatically correct notes. I imagine it should understand my meaning. Can you update this error for all instances in your existing code? Right? Now, I wonder if Sonnet, it says Sonnet is the most intelligent model. So I'm going to run it and see if it will fix that. See how it's making the individual line edits? Look at that. That's very cool. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. AI is supposed to like do it for me, right? Yeah. I would pause the video, but this is so cool. Just seeing how it's hitting each of the roles. It did update it. Looks great. Okay, I'll just give you a thumbs up here. Great. Now, if I go back into the preview, looks the same, right? Let's go ahead and copy this. No, let's download this to a file. Then it should open up properly. Still contains some errors. Line 89 at column 108. But it caught most of them. Parse and infer. See, the thing that I like most about AI is that it can catch these issues. So I don't even know how to code in any of this. Obviously, I can go in myself and investigate it, but that's literally doing the same thing. In fact, I could just copy this here and say, got this error. I like that it didn't get confused. The online 89, great, great. And it's also checking for other instances. Okay, we're gonna download it one more time and see if we run into any errors. None. What? This is wild. Okay. Now, if we go back, no, if we go into our SVG, load it. Ah, so that's why it had an issue because it had these errors. Okay, so by default, sometimes Claude is going to not generate the ampersand amp, right? So we have to check our converters to see if we'll run into any issues. In any case, I would say that of this competition, Claude comes out ahead overall. And from my experience, Claude has been the most performative, the most flexible in terms of being able to generate code and to produce long form documents that make sense. What's also crazy is that it's part of projects now. Okay, I'm going to star this, meaning you can create projects, add files, just like how OpenAI's ChatGPT introduced projects. Right now, I don't see projects in DeepSeek. If it does, then I could be wrong. But okay, and they also have the DeepSeek app. I have the DeepSeek app on my phone. So I don't see projects for this thing, but Claude does have projects. I would say overall, Claude 3.7, Claude Sonnet 3.7 is the winner for me. Chat LLM's good in that it uses Flux to generate images. So let's see if we can generate an image from this thing, and this will be our last part. I'm going to ask Chat LLM using the Flux tool to generate an image from the recommendations coming from DeepSeek, right? So this is AI tool chaining. Modify the prompt, the input prompt for improved image generation results. Let's generate, see what happens. I don't know if this can handle this prompt, honestly. Like if it's using the Flux, let's see. Yo, wait a minute. Well, let's download this and open it up. Wow. System architecture. Now, it attempted to make some text. This is for image generation. So, generating text is not necessarily its strong suit, but oh my goodness. Physical integrity, performance optimization engineer. I could take this and kind of copy it. Oh man. I'm tempted to ask Claude to generate an image. Can Claude generate images? Okay. Can you generate an infographic described? All right, so we're going to ask Claude Sonnet 3.7 to do it. Man, listen, if this produces it the way it looks here, but with the text because of the SVG, listen. Now I know Flux's algorithm, it's better for creating images for like drawings and whatnot. For instance, if I wanted a printed circuit board with um EMC, magnetic field visualization about a trace on the PCB. What gets produced, right? What gets generated for more graphical and not text-based things? Claude is still putting in work. It is still working. It's a lot of information and a bit of a complex. Yo, what is going on? Look at this. See, I could crop this out. I could crop this. If I wanted to edit the image. Oh my goodness. Edit selection. Remove. It's saying redo without image generation. Man, this is very impressive. This is usable. This is usable to at least get the point across. And then if I wanted, I could open it up in my own image editor to point in this area and say this is, the noisy region. Very nice. I can copy the rendered response or copy the raw response. I'm not sure what the difference is there, but this is great. This is great. And then somehow I'm sure I can download the file if I want to. So I'm done editing. Once I'm done editing, I can download this and open up my image. It does better with the text, a little better, but at least for the visuals, it does a better job. There are these lines going over. I guess it's supposed to represent traces. But yeah, this is solid. I can open this up in my PCB editor. It got the mounting holes correct. The things that want to look like capacitors. Let me show you something else I generated. Here's another picture I generated. Look at that. This is using AI, using my prompt circuit board overlaying the signals on the PCB. This is good for a nice little thumbnail. All right. Is Claude still working on it? Claude hit the max length for a message. Okay, let's hit continue. Man, I don't know what Claude is doing, but all right. I like that Claude can pick up and continue this. Pretty much DeepSeek is kind of out of the runner for image generation, at least for now. ChatLLM using Flux, really it's leveraging the Flux Pro whatever. But I like that ChatLLM allows me to use multiple models to do what I want to do. It also has different things like tasks. I haven't tried out tasks yet, or connectors. It can connect Google Drive. I can manage bots. Man, okay, okay. There are so many things and use cases I want to test out, like uploading files, like how well do they process files and everything. The infographic uses a clean, blah, 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 light gray background. All right, so it gives me a summary of what it produced. It looks like it's not finished though, so I'm not sure. Let's take a preview. Whoa! Listen, 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 listen. Okay, let's go ahead and download this. The SVG, see, it highlights the following errors. I just copy and paste it directly in there. It'll know to fix that. See, once the whole output's generated, closing all attribute quotes. Now, this speaks to the nature of AI in general. AI learns from patterns that are established. It generates the next likely token based on what it's been trained on. There are other things going on underneath the hood depending on how the programmers program it. Like maybe there's some programmatic stuff. Well, definitely there's some programmatic things going on, deterministic that give the AI rules to go by. In all of that, though, AI still uses statistical elements, statistical analysis and tools, linear regression, reinforcement learning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, to generate the next likely thing in the pattern. That means, depending on where it got trained from, it may generate code where you can use an ampersand without ampersand amp, or it may have just forgotten to do it, or it just gets certain things incorrect sometimes. And this is a real example of that. So then you give it information and data to work with, or feedback to then help the AI learn and train. That's all it is. We're going to download this again, open, and you just keep repeating this. I won't bore you with the details. You know how this process goes, and let's see how it ends. Okay, so the final conclusion is that Claude 3.7, like Sonnet 3.7, is the MVP. I mean, Claude is just wild. All right. It finally got it correct. It redid all of the code. Now, if I upload my file, make sure that's the most recent one. Oh, hardware design roles revised. Let's go ahead and delete this. Download it and convert that. And now we've got our PNG, the system architect. Jeez, look at this. It breaks down the categories, our output from DeepSeek, system architecture and planning, circuit logic implementation. Now, some of these things need a little bit of cleanup, like this little random graphic thing, custom silicon design. Look at that. Look at that. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, as always, I could just go into Microsoft PowerPoint or something, or Publisher, or really any infographic tool, and just build this out. Okay, or mind map tool, like an AI mind map tool. And it even put the copy. Listen, okay. Yeah, Claude Sonnet 3.7 is a beast. All right. Thanks so much for watching this video. This is a comparison on some real world tasks just for image and knowledge and image knowledge generation and assessment. Okay. I like all of the different tools. ChatGPT is always my default go-to, but Claude Sonnet 3.7, I think, knocks it out the water. And the rest of the tools like ChatLLM, I think it's the overall best option if it's actually, I need to actually use Claude Sonnet more here from Abacus AI because it seems to be offering a lot more value, but using all of the models as well. And Code LLM, that's a new thing, right? I can download and open and use Code LLM. I don't even know what that is. I'm going to be playing with this for a while. I'll see you in the next video. Let me know your thoughts on tools that you're using, AI tools you're using to do anything with. All right. Peace.